Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And this weekend has been all about comedy films, and this one is a horror comedy, no less, from 1963. Yes, a pretty old movie, but it is kind of funny. And I was recommended this movie. When I say recommended, I watched it on a video by Sean from Movie Assault, and I decided I wanted to check it out. Why? Because it's produced and directed by Roger Corman, the legendary Roger Corman. It stars legends of horror movies, Vincent Price, Boris Karloff in a comedy movie, Peter Lorre, and Jack Nicholson, who's a very young, I didn't even recognize him by the way. And this is based on the poem The Raven, but it's a comedy film. So we have the sorcerer doctor, and it's actually set in the 16th century. The sorcerer Dr. How do you pronounce his name? Erasmus Craven. He is played by Vincent Price. He's been mourning the death of his second wife, Lenore, for over 2 years. His daughter is very worried about him. One night he is visited by a large raven. He lets him inside, feeds him some wine. Surprised to hear Surprised to hear the raven talk, and he's actually a transformed wizard, Dr. Bedlow, played by Peter Lorre, and he says he's been transformed into a raven by the evil Dr. Scarabeus, who is played by Boris Karloff. And so he says it was an unfair duel, so the nice person that Craven is, he tries to help him, and he is able to restore him back using some magic potion into his form. And then he says, I have seen your wife's, Bedlow sees his wife's portrait. He says, I've seen your wife in Dr. Scarabeus' house. So they decide to go and investigate, but Scarabeus is already using his wizardry to get Craven's servant to come and try and attack them. They manage to escape. They're joined by Estelle, who is Craven's daughter, played by Hazel Coate, I guess. No, Hazel Coate is playing Lenore. This is Olive Sturgis, who plays the daughter. She and Bedlow's son Rexford, played by Jack Nicholson. And they go to the castle. So of course there is a there is a matching of wits, so to say, sorcery happening each other. Initially, Craven and his friends and his team are captured by, they are put in prison in the dungeon by Bedlow. Sorry, not by Bedlow, by Scarabeus, and he's planning to torture them. But Bedlow pleads for his life and says, "I don't mind if you turn me back into a raven, but just let me go." So he does, converts him back to a raven, and he escapes. But he comes back, frees his son Rexford, and then they go and help Craven as well as his daughter to escape. But then there's a fight between the magic duel, wizardry happening, fighting here and there between Craven and Scarabeus. Funny enough, I've never seen this actually happening. They actually go and sit on two chairs opposing each other and go all that stuff. Really funny. And they also insult each other. Finally, Scarabeus' aim hits the castle. It sets on fire. Oh, sorry, I missed out one part. Lenore is alive. She's not a ghost. She has been pretending to be dead, and actually is now the mistress of Scarabeus. So she double-crossed him. And in this fight, Scarabeus is defeated by Craven, and the castle comes tumbling down. Lenore tries to escape with them, saying to Craven that she wants to be with them. She was actually bewitched by Scarabeus, but Craven rejects her. The four of them escape, which is Bedlow, Craven, Estelle, and Rexford, and the castle collapses on Scarabeus and Lenore. They do survive, but Scarabeus has lost his magical powers. In the final scene, the raven, who's Bedlow, tries to convince Craven to actually restore him back to his human self, but he tells him to be quiet, and then turns to the camera and says, quote the raven, nevermore, which is from the poem. So yeah, it is a a fun movie, especially to see these two legends, Vincent Price and Boris Karloff, and Peter Lorre was also in this, um, in a lot of horror movies, I guess. I don't remember having seen him in any. I'm really sorry, but yeah. So they're all legends in the horror movies of the black and white era, and this is from 1963. It's really fun to watch, especially if you like that kind of comedy. It is pretty fun to see. I'm still not over the fact that that was Jack Nicholson. Can't, I couldn't actually believe it. Yeah, but there's a lot of movies of his which I haven't actually seen. Um, it is okay. It still stands the test of time. I will give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. I'm not sure it's going to be entertaining for a lot of people who's grown up on later movies, but I think it's going to be a good thing for a lot of nostalgic fans of the old style of Universal Monsters, and seeing people like Boris Karloff and Peter Lorre and Vincent Price is going to give them a kick in this film. Yep, 7.5 out of 10. Good night.